Hey everyone, this is Tom from MonTac here, and we are back at it again with another match of the week. This time we have got a Spark Division matchup between the recently advanced Shiko and Firestone, also known as Lucky. We got Lucky going in with Life Gamblers with a roll of 4. We're going with the typical shenanigans. We're going to see what he can pull off here. Shiko, an incredibly dominant rookie champion. She will be looking to extend her win streak and see if she can get to the top of Spark. She is known for pugs and boosting them a heck of a lot, and Lucky is known for a lot of removal and die rolls. Really, that's kind of why he's got the nickname High Roller. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. These guys have never competed against each other before, and now we're going to see them battle it out here today. Let's see what we go. We've got 3,500 Jackal right off the bat is a strong play, and especially against pugs, this is going to be very good to not get out-mustered right now. Thank you again to Zweistein for judging this matchup. We've got Life Gambler Supportive Ace. Supportive Ace is going to grab Superior Ace. Very interesting. Going for another supportive ace, the classic gambler plays. Life gamblers are all about revival, and so they're also very wasteful with their specialties. Like, you can sacrifice a life gambler, do a bunch of different things, and they also control their own die rolling cards through Queen. Holy smokes, Mechanic Turmoil. This is going to be very interesting. So Turmoil is a card that, and it's honestly quite a crazy card, it can make a monster into a tactical. That's right, you heard it. It makes a monster into a tactical, using the specialty of that monster as the tactical's effect. But not only that, it doesn't just make it a tactical. It makes it a tactical permanently and stays in play as a constant tactical. So it's a very interesting strategy here. He's going to use... Ooh, hold on. That is interesting. Okay, so what they did is they used Turmoil there to bring out and make their Superior Ace into a tactical, which would make it a permanent reviving every single turn card. But the only reason this is actually okay is that you can sack 4 health to remove it, which is what Shiko did. Okay. Judge is just informing Shiko they can at any point sack 4 to get rid of that Superior Ace going forward, because that part of Mechanic Turmoil does not leave. Very interesting situation here for Shiko. She's going to need to break down this board and really bully the gamblers. It's going to be a tough one. Okay, checking now. We're going to go Big Boy Pug. Waiting on the roll of 6. That's huge. Okay, so... yeah, they're just messing up the roll there, but alright. So we've got Big Boy Pug in play. This is an absolute staple of Shiko's strategy. She uses this card in combination with a card called Pug Treats to raise this card's power to approximately 4,100, which will be enough to deal with that Jackal. But Lucky is a man with a lot of strategy, and we're going to go into Pug into Pug. Interesting choice. The Big Boy Pug is going to be added. Interesting. So Big Boy's Treats goes on the first Pug. Ooh, we got a response before they use Big Boy the Pug Treats. What are they going to respond? Holy smokes. That is a phenomenal play from Lucky, shutting off the ability for Big Boy Pugs to get power rised past their stat line of 100. No one has ever done this to Shiko before, and this is where she would typically take over the game, but this immediate hammer down will completely shut off her strategy. This is huge right now. She is in a horrible position. She's going to need to get those pugs in the Perish Pile and revive them somehow to get past this, because otherwise it is just going to be lights out very quickly. Definitely something she has not encountered before. What can Shiko do? Gambler's looking to be a very strong matchup so far. Pug Treats. What are Pug Treats doing? Interesting. I'm not sure on this ruling, but interestingly enough, they're going to use both pug traits on them, as they are a permanent boost, and just really they'll just get the power when they perish, I suppose. It's a very unusual tactic. I guess it's a while in play, while it has a specialty. Yeah, okay, so it's a while. Interesting. That does technically work, but that is very weird, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what we got here. Big thing for Big Boy Pug, what makes it so scary is the fact that it can't perish due to specialties. However, most of Lucky's deck is actually effect-based removal, so he does have the way out. The only problem is if Shiko can revive those pugs, just how big they will be. Going to swing for one right off the bat. Does Shiko have a response? Okay, she's going to use Star Hand. Star Hand is a great card. Basically what it does is you can search your deck for up to 5 cards and add them to your hand. You don't have to reveal them to your enemy at all. But for each card you add, your enemy gains a health point. So you obviously want to give your enemy the least amount of health points, but you also want to get a lot of cards. It's a bit of an interesting balance. Most people kind of just go all out and take the 5, because 5 cards is 5 cards. In this situation, giving health to Lucky isn't that big of a problem. Life gamblers don't typically use a lot of health loss, as far as I remember, in terms of the general strategy. However, that doesn't really keep in any sort of account potentially what other strategy he could be running in that deck if it's not just gamblers. As for Shiko, she is probably just looking to get out, I would imagine, some sort of revival tool for those big boy pugs, because if she can get bigger than Lucky and take out the aces, she can really start to take control of this matchup. We will have to see though. Adding a boatload of cards. This will give Lucky a lot of health points. Yeah, I wonder how he'll react. We've got 2 aces on field. Both are, yeah, I can't get that power up, and neither can that Jackal. So that hammer down has now been turned on him, and now he is in the position where none of his monsters can get bigger. And against pugs, you need those power-ups. So we'll wonder and have to be aware to see what he could respond with, and if he's drawn into any of his typical life gambler shenanigans. If he has not, this could be really bad for Lucky. Pugishment is a classic revival tool for the pugs. It will revive a big boy pug from the perish pile, and it will gain the 4,000. It's at 4,100 or 4,600. They get an extra 500 with that revival. I forgot about that. Holy smokes. That is crazy. And we're going to go 4,600 pass. Interesting choice there. Why would you not press the advantage against the Jackal that can't get boosted? Ooh, on cooldown. Oh, sorry, that's on passing. Okay, holy smokes, Discourse. What a great card. Discourse is a card where you can send a, I think you can send a tactical from your deck or hand to the perish pile. If you do, add a second copy of that tactical to your hand. During your next preparation stage, you can add the tactical you sent to the perish pile to your hand, and then all copies of that tactical can be played regardless of class. Basically, in short-term speak, both of those hailing arrows, which just one-shot a card, normally a class roll of 6, super hard to get, now basically class 1s. Super strong play from Shiko, and they are going to have to make a lot out of that. Roll a 5, she'll get it back. This is a very strong play. Okay, so priority play has been used to add the hailing arrows back to hand. It is a good way to one-shot cards, but against life gamblers that may not be as valuable as previously thought. Lucky, of course, is a 2-time former pro champion, and yeah, a very strong competitor for Shiko to play. We'll have to see if she can rise to the challenge, or if the high roller will just keep on steamrolling. Let's see what we've got here. 4,600 on Big Boy Pug. I'm going to go with Nator. Nator is hitting the field at 1,700. Can be played regardless of class because Shiko has no cards in their asset pile. A huge thing about Pugs is they don't like cards in their asset pile, so they start the game at a -6 disadvantage, a huge handicap. But if you pay close attention to a lot of the Pug cards, they're actually insanely broken if they were not in the Pug archetype. For instance, in Nator's case, he can double the power of any Savage Titan player until the end of the current turn, and he's playable regardless of class. Insanely strong card, but in this situation, it's actually just about right. Taking out Superior Ace now with Big Boy Pug. I imagine Shiko will wish to take out the other ace just to really stop Lucky from getting that revival. It's going to double itself, putting itself up to 34, which definitely will be big enough. Will Lucky have a response? Nope. Superior Ace is gone. Use Plasma Hand Cannon. Very interesting. So the great thing about Plasma Hand Cannon, typically used with other decks, but in this case, it's actually going to be used for life games because they do have some Otherworld type cards. Plasma Hand Cannon basically class 4 below Otherworld type, send from your deck, hand, or field to the perish pile during next preparation stage, and we play that card with its power doubled. Typically used for its power doubling strategy. In this case, he's actually using it just to revive the Jack itself, which procs on revival. And unfortunately, he didn't get the roll he needs, so that is going to kill Jack. But, as brutal as that may seem, life gamblers don't worry too much regardless anyway. Ooh, hold on. Okay, so we're going to do a natural roll for 1, okay. So it looks like we just got a little bit too quick there, but the judge is going to rule that the first roll, as the player didn't indicate it was for Jack, will be for Jack, and the second roll there, the number 1, will be the actual class roll. We're going to go Lucky Queen. Again, not at all bothered. Lucky Queen is online. You can play regardless of class because there are perished life gambler tacticals. It's a great card for deciding the die rolls in gamblers, but you do have to have a sacrifice for it. And they're going to sacrifice the Jackal to board wipe Shiko. Huge play there. That is massive. Wow. Great play. That will board wipe Shiko, and those big boys are not protected as it is only protected through specialties. And that is an effect right there. That is a brilliantly executed strategy from Lucky. Getting rid of the Jackal too. It may seem like a bit of a weird play to get rid of Jackal, a big monster, but the Jackal can't get any bigger. So really, the strategy that Lucky opted for here is more about the actual technical side of gamblers rather than the brute force. It's a very... you could make it a bit of a gamble, no pun intended, but I think it is definitely the best play at this moment. Lucky has been playing gamblers for years now, and I think they'll know exactly what they need to do in this scenario. They're going to strike through with the Queen, and a Punishment again hits the field. You only have up to 2 copies of a card in your deck, so this will be the last Punishment, unless there's some sort of other revival technique we have not yet seen. But we're going to use Punishment to revive the Big Boy Pug. Big Boy Pug comes in, and it's going to be at 4,600. I assume this is a different Pug. I mean, it really could be either one. It doesn't necessarily matter, but again, Pug is going to be a problem for Lucky. Okay, so Big Boy Pug is at 4,600 with a Mono Mace on top of that. It's going to raise it up to 5,500. It's a 900 boost there, and they'll get to see what Lucky's hand is. Not always an important thing, but potentially what they're setting up could be. And we will see it's a Livro Regenerator. Life Gambler's offering another Livro and a Jack. He is definitely bricking. That is a rough place to be in for Lucky. No real response to anything that she could do this turn. But lucky for Lucky, this is not sudden death. Sudden death occurs after both players have each played 5 turns, and then we hit sudden death, where basically, if either player is wounded even once, it is just immediately lethal. So, it's a very tough situation to be in. And, in Lucky's scenario, he's very, very lucky, no pun intended again, that this is not sudden death. The question is, does he use Life Gambler's Offering here? I think he'll definitely be weighing it up, but I don't know if there's any point. Yeah, I don't think there'd be any point. So now they're going to potentially hit him for 1 damage, bring him down to 12. Definitely damage Lucky can afford to take right now. Roll of 5. Roll of 5 now. Lucky has got to figure out what they're going to do. They did not have to reveal their hand anymore. So those 2 Livros are Bladeborn cards, not even Life Gambler cards. And basically the way they work is, while they're in the Perish Power, you can revive them once per copy. To just bring them back for one little time. It's good for gambler shenanigans when you just want to keep reviving stuff to boost their Debt King. But right now, it's not doing Lucky any favors. Roll of 5 is good though. Going Ambitious Jack. Now, I imagine we'll probably use Life Gambler's Offering here. Life Gambler's Offering. This is actually a card that Lucky brought into the game through a suggestion that he actually had. And he's going to sack the Jack to revive Jack itself. Gosh, that was a weird thing. So Life Gambler's Offering sacrifices the Jack to revive another card from the Perish Pile with the same class as, with the same class as the roll, which was 3. He's going to revive Jack itself, and the Jack rolls, gets a 3, which allows them to revive straight 5 from the Perish Pile. Holy smokes, that was a lot of weirdness. If you didn't understand that, don't worry. It do be complicated with that specific interaction. That was a little bit weird. We're going to hit double Liver over here for defense, and we're going to pass the turn. Definitely threatening the straight 5 for next turn. Hopefully looking to draw into the Queen. The reason that he didn't just use straight 5 by itself there, if anyone is wondering, is that straight 5 has the clause that for it to activate, you have to roll a 5 or a 6. And if you roll anything else, you lose your own board. So it's a really rough situation if you roll wrong. Now, that's why he used Queen earlier to roll exactly what he wanted, but it did cost him his Jackal. Excuse me there. They're going to beat over the Jack, and that still leaves 2 Livros standing guard. Roll of 5. Let's see what he's got. Passing it over. Last turn before sudden death. It's a roll of 6. Shiko has got a lot of options right now. Passing it immediately over to get us into sudden death. Holy smokes. Now, a really cool thing about those Livros is they can also activate during either player's turn, which not every card can do, and serve as meat shield. So he is preparing himself for a onslaught later on. Shiko is in a very interesting position here because while they do have the commanding field right now, that could all go up in smoke if the Queen shows up. Let's see what happens. Ooh. Going to a Wild Joker now. Sacrificing it. Queen. Roll of 1. Lucky. So Shiko's going to have to kill that thing immediately or risk losing their board. I imagine Hailing Arrows is coming now. You have to at this stage because you will lose, big boy. Waiting now. Does she pull the trigger? Yep, she's dropping one of the Hailing Arrows, taking out the Queen. Okay, but Lucky was aware that could happen, so let's see if they've prepared for it. Livros looking mighty meatbaggy. Pull Livros. Roll of 1 for turn, leaving Lucky with very little options. Outside of that Queen play, he could, of course, force something different, but there's no real way. Oh, this is unusual. We got a Wild Rascal Jeremy. This card can basically give itself to your enemy, force them to mill a card from the top of their deck. But you do give them that monster. But you can also force them to lose a card, which is pretty good. It's unusual strategy. I'm not sure why he's running Jeremy. I imagine it's for just to annoy the opponent. I imagine that's what Lucky loves to do most. It will mill the top card of Shiko. Let's see what we got. It is really weird, I'm gonna be honest. It's a very weird strategy just to play that, but I guess maybe he's running it for something else. Oh, when they hit infantry, destroy a sword. Wow. Wow, okay, that is huge right there. Losing infantry is insanely... Wow, that is really unfortunate for Shiko. Infantry is a huge part of their strategy and is really one of the best power-ups in the game. It gives you 500 for each Perish Destroyer sword in your Perish pile, which can range to like 2,500, 3,000 boosts until it perishes. And then it gives you a Destroyer sword from the Perish pile if you have 4 or more. Dear Lord, and to lose that? That is rough. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's game-changing. Well, it's definitely game-changing, but I don't know if it will spell her end. But I will say it's a big loss. Lucky is looking at around with the same amount of cards in the Perish pile. Hailing Arrows again to deal with that queen. Shiko does not want that queen in play, but that's now both Hailing Arrows gone. Shiko will be running out of options soon. Going into conflict. And they're going to attack. Oh, it's a corrosive strategy. That's what he's doing. Such a cheeky rascal. So he's going to have Livero beat over the Jeremy. Let's see. Does it go through? If it does, this will force the corrosive. And we're going to hit Monomax. What a weird strategy. I am so confused. Okay, Monomax is going to hit. They've got a Monomace in the Perish pile, so that will boost their Jeremy by 1,800. It's a huge power-up, but the only reason it's allowed, really, or the only reason it can actually happen, is that they have a Monomace in their Perish pile, hence why I mentioned earlier, when she did use that Monomace, it sets up the Monomax in the late game. Granted, if you do draw into Monomax, you are going to brick a heck of a lot, but... luckily again for Shiko, they did have Starhand, and we're seeing 2 card displacements, a regeneration, a regenerator, and a straight 5. I have a feeling we might see a desperate roll from Lucky and hoping they can get that 6 just naturally, or 5, sorry, but no way to tell. Shiko has the turn now with a very large Jeremy at 2,100. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So Livero is looking a little bit weak. Livero is looking a little bit weak right now. It is the weakest monster in play, and it has Corrosive. So you might be wondering, what is Corrosive? He keeps mentioning it. Corrosive is a keyword. We don't have too many in the game, but keyword basically is... It's basically what it does is every time that monster wins a conflict, so it doesn't have to destroy the enemy monster, but as long as it just wins, or the enemy monster doesn't actually perish from that conflict, but as long as it just wins a conflict, both players take a damage. Lucky's got tons of health to sack, and Shiko does not. I'm not sure why Shiko decided to play super defensive on that front, but perhaps they're worried about some sort of burn and they're just playing extra safe. That might have been a bad play, but another unfortunate thing for Lucky is the card that they gave to Shiko is a Savage type, which means that... Ooh. Let's see if this is it. Jeremy is attacking for game. Livero played from the Perish pile, once per copy. Well done. That can take out the Livero. Okay, this might help them survive. And going again. First Livero has been used. Second Livero hits the field, acting as a meat shield. Yeah, it looks like this will be enough to save him. No, no cooldown cards right now. Roll of 3. We are in sudden death. Lucky needs this board wipe. Shiko desperately trying to stop it. Both queens have perished. Let's see. I'm going to check now what the perish pile has. Do we have 2 queens? We've got 1 queen. Does Lucky only run 1 queen? Let's see. Queen. Only 1 queen in the perish pile. This means that Lucky does still have potentially another queen left over, but he may only be running 1 copy. I don't know if he would do that, but he could. Okay. Roll 3 for turn. Weighing up the options. This is a very delicate moment now. Let's see what Lucky does. They're just waiting here. Card displacement. That is so weird right now. Card displacement is basically a card that can send a card in Shiko's hand to the bottom of their deck. It also allows Lucky to see the actual hand itself. And they're going to put the Shuwu, which we cannot see, but I am going to assume based on what I'm hearing, it is Shuwu, which is a card that can discard itself to win a conflict automatically. Very strong cards for Shiko. Going to put another card in Shiko's hand. Lucky still doesn't have many options though. Unknown Perpetrator. What in the name is that? This is a card inspired. Wow, okay. Unknown Perpetrator. Very interesting. So this is a card that can revive. Is it going to... Whoa, what the heck is going on here? Unknown Perpetrator gains basically any original power of a monster played while it's already in place. It's going to gain that 1100. And then Queen can use a combination of straight 5 to kill Queen itself to board wipe Shiko, leaving Shiko with nothing in play. Holy smokes. Is this game for Shiko? It looks like that might be it. This could be game. Has Shiko forfeited the match? That is game. Shiko forfeits. Unfortunately, they will have nothing left, and that is game. Thank you for watching. This has been Tom. Have a great day. Well played from both people.